Welcome back to our women's health Q&A, where you send me your questions and I attempt to answer them live. And this month we've been discussing how I manage multiple different injuries in my groups of midlife women. Okay, so in the first session, which you can go back and view, we talked about why women are so prone to injury, especially joint and ligament injury, why their pain is amping up. And today we're going to discuss moving away from inflammatory behaviors and guiding towards anti-inflammatory behaviors. And this is why. So exercise in and of itself is already inflammatory, and that is not a bad thing when it's a response to inflammation, to exercise, and then the inflammation goes away. However, the constant low-level inflammation that occurs with, battling chronic illness or autoimmune disease or estrogen withdrawal, that's the stuff that gets sort of wears away at your immune system, at your vibrancy, and your ligament health. So estrogen, I might be repeating myself and I apologize for that, but we need a bit of background. So estrogen comes in three main forms, of which I'm going to talk about two really briefly now. Estradiol is an anti-inflammatory hormone, and that is the form of estrogen that is made predominantly by our ovaries, and that is the hormone that we withdraw from during perimenopause, and that is the hormone that's next to gone in the postmenopausal period. However, estrone is inflammatory, and estrone is created mostly by your fat cells. And estrone is the predominant form of estrogen circulating in the body in the postmenopausal period. Okay, so for this reason, midlife women will be more inflamed than they were before, with the same level of stress and the same level of infection. And this is one of the theories behind why women are more susceptible to autoimmune disease, to neurodegenerative diseases, and so on. So considering it with your midlife women and understanding that they're more inflamed is super, super vital. It's worthwhile mentioning, it looks like we adapt in the postnatal period. Obviously, there's not a lot of information, but it looks like our highest inflammation is in the perimenopausal period, where we're getting used to we've got fluctuating levels of estradiol, and then in the postmenopausal period, it looks like we may adapt, okay? We may recalibrate to live life without it. So mitigating inflammation, this is what we need to do to help our women feel better, help them continue training even if they are injured, and maybe even help them, get rid of their injury altogether without specific rehab. So ways that I incorporate anti-inflammatory behaviors into my sessions include meditation and mindfulness, non-negotiable every session. It's been shown to reduce inflammation and the corresponding health effects, such as autoimmune disease, allergies, and pain. Down-regulates it. So I make sure we spend at least 5 minutes in every single session. So at least they're getting 1 to 2 opportunities a week to down-regulate. We touch. So gentle stroking. I don't gently stroke my clients, but bear with me. Gentle stroking has been shown to modulate pain and inflammatory markers. So I don't go around stroking my clients, but I do provide opportunity for hugs, and I touch to correct their form. We do pats on the backs, high fives, spot each other, etc., etc. Number 3, I earth or ground them as often as possible. So that just means touching the earth, although cement works as well, either barefoot or with bare hands. I make sure we do that as long as we can. So through winter, we put shoes on, but for the rest of the time, as soon as it's warm enough, shoes are off. When we do our meditation, I make sure their hands are wider than the mat, so they're touching the ground. This has been amazing to reduce systemic chronic inflammation. It also improves immune response and accuracy. It can reduce pain and promote healing. So to finish a session touching the ground when you've done damage, which is what strength training is, goes a long way to promote healing and to help them get better faster. And there's a bunch of other reasons, but it was a major reason why I chose an inside-outside gym, and I take their shoes off. Engagement with nature. So whenever possible, we'll stop and look at local wildlife. We're always whale spotting or dolphin spotting or cockatoo spotting. We spend time on the soft sand. We sometimes even immerse ourselves in the ocean. And in the very least, we're looking at it, because positive experiences in nature is anti-inflammatory. That's it. And there's been studies, which I haven't looked up and I haven't referenced, but I have read in the past, that show even photographs of nature on the walls of hospitals can help promote healing and help people recover faster. And then the other thing I do is I guide them towards anti-inflammatory foods, but because that's such a massive lifestyle change, I tend to guide them towards these behaviors one topic at a time or one step at a time. Because eating a diet that's high in inflammatory chemicals obviously pushes someone towards low-grade inflammation, whereas guiding towards anti-inflammatory foods and nutrients has been shown to reduce inflammation. So even if you have a autoimmune disease already or an injury, it can downregulate your pain and it can downregulate your flare-ups. So that's super important, but I choose to educate my clients via email with this one over a long period of time because it's such a big topic and I'm asking for a lot of change. If I want them to actually change, I've got to offer it in bite-sized pieces that doesn't overwhelm them and allows them to sort of chip away at it. Now, if you notice similarities between this week's advice and last week's on their nervous systems, you'd be right. Inflammation and nervous systems go hand in hand. So calming someone's thoughts and brains also calms their body because it is one unit. Our brains and our nervous systems are not separate to our bodies. And our thoughts and behaviors impact our bodies and our bodies impact our thoughts and behaviors. So if this has brought up any questions or if you want further detail, you can message me and I will attempt to answer live next week. Otherwise, I hope that was useful.